Okay, just for the record, we're playing Eylau, and that's the old 3W game. I'm just on the first turn as Russian, and Harry's now just moving the French, the 8 o'clock turn. Doing the 11 o'clock turn right now. You can see we're engaged all down the line. Not one single unit has been destroyed yet, but we've got a case where I've got one unit in Eylau, and Harry's about to do a big 2-to-1 surround, so we might see our first casualty losses this turn. Let's see how it goes. Doing the 1500 turn of Eylau now. You can see Lestock's Prussians are on the board now. That's the green units over here. And Ney's corps is pursuing them. We have combat all the way down the line. Still going on. And the Russians have slightly more casualties than the French, but no corps is broken. So it's still a very even battle. The Russians were able to take the town of Eylau in one turn, so they get 10 points for that. So it's still very much up in the air. This is Eylau 3W's version. So far, a pretty good game. Okay, we're at the 4 p.m. turn in the afternoon. Fighting still down the line. Although we've got the Prussians outflanking the French left. Ney is on, pursuing the Prussians. Attacks still pretty well all the way down the line. Stalemated. Casualties are mounting now. We're finally getting some hits. So French casualties are what? 8, 10, 13. And Russians are 6, 10, 14, 19. So the Russians have more casualties. It's a very even battle because the Russians got 10 points for Eylau. So it's still up in the air. We're doing the 1700 turn. Now the Prussians have got astride that road and are kind of in the French rear.
Kind of?
Yeah. It's still close. The Russians rather have taken lots of casualties though. I've had one of my corps break. That would be Essen's corps has been demoralized. So it still very much hangs in the balance on the 1700 turn. Okay, Harry's got a good attack going here in the center. Now if he destroys that 29th Division, which is part of Douchereau's corps, that's the center, it's going to get really in the balance. He's crashing through my center, and I'm crashing through his left flank. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Harry's attack did work in the center. He destroyed another unit, but it wasn't enough to push, whose corps was that? Douchereau's corps over. He's close, 8. He needs 9. So he's doing a major bust through in the center, and I've still got that flanking action. It's hanging by a wire. 1700 turn, I've just done a point check. I'm 37 points, Harry's 35. It's going right down to the wire. Now we've got all kinds of casualties there. And I've had a couple of corps now demoralized. But God knows where this game's going to go. I'm in the town of Eylau, and it's hard to say where it's going to go. Shooting the second last turn of the game. There's one turn left to go, and it's anybody's guess as to who's winning because I've just done the casualties. It's about like the 40s against 35. It's so darn close. Whoever gets Eylau, let's film it on the last turn, see what happens. The game ended, and it came right down to the wire. The Russians tried to take Eylau. They did not take it in some series of 1 to 2 attacks. We've got an anomalous situation. We've got the guards surrounded in Eylau by Russians, but on the last turn, Harry broke 3 Russian divisions and by points just got it. It was 67 points to 44. So it's a French marginal victory. And that's the Napoleon-Waterloo system. So Harry, overall comments on the game?
Like the game very much. It's 30, 40 years old, I guess. It's that kind of die roll type of game. ARs, DRs, exchanges. Not a bad game. The only thing that we didn't add to this one was the weather, which is actually the part of Eylau that makes it kind of different.
Yeah. How did you find it compared to the Avalanche Press edition?
I like this one. I liked this version of Eylau more than I enjoyed the Avalanche Press version.
Yeah.
Possibly because this has a slightly larger map surface to work with. and I felt that I wasn't constrained by the small map surface.
Yeah.
So there was a bit more of a feel of endeavoring to do something with my cores, my units.
Yeah, I agree.
But it turned out to be a big meat grinder, which
Yeah,
I guess
which
40
I
years
was.
ago,
Yeah.
that's what we were doing.
So, summation, what would you give this game out of 10 as entertainment, we'll say?
Entertainment?
Entertainment.
The mere fact that you were not terrified by my Napoleon counter is bothersome. He's under Bercier with his mistress in the town of Eylau throwing bottles at the Prussians and the Russians.
Surrounded. It's like an Alamo scenario.
It's an Alamo scenario for him, so he's not very happy with himself. I liked it. I like this version. It could do with a rework, a little bit of an update.
So entertainment value out of 10.
Oh, I'd give it a 7.
Okay.
7, 8. I enjoyed this.
And
This was fun.
And historical out of 10.
Historical?
Historical.
No, this is where games that are 30, 40 years old fall off.
Yeah.
Because there's no attempt to restrict the ability of the player in this game system.
Yeah, it's all or nothing kind of thing.
We're happily making 1 to 2 trade-offs when real commanders wouldn't have done that on this scale.
Yeah.
For the number of times we did it, we should have been constrained from doing that. The other thing that bothers me a little bit is there's nothing adherently to be gained by having the guard in this. The guard units here are just...
There are no guard rules at all.
Well, there's no guard rules in this, and I shouldn't be throwing them into the battle, although at the beginning, I don't have enough guys.
Yeah,
I can't cover the ground here.
We didn't do much with the reorganization, did we?
No.
We hardly used them.
No.
Well, I'll do my summation. Entertainment value, yeah, I'd give this like 8 out of 10. Historical, how historical is it? Oh, 6 or so. I mean, you know, it's cute. It's the Napoleon War system. So we'll wrap the video, and thank you very much for an enjoyable game, Harry, and congratulations on your marginal French victory.
Gilbert, it was an absolute pleasure.
All right.
It was fun to lose.
Sign off for now. Bye-bye.